to Salesforce Development, Lesson 19. Today we're going to look at creating record triggered flows, and specifically we're looking to create a record trigger flow on our reservation object to set the sales tax rate. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to create a new object to hold all of our state sales tax information. So we're going to go ahead and create a new custom object. And I'm going to call this state sales tax. State sales taxes, good enough there. State sales tax. Now the name, this is just going to be a text field, and then probably what we're going to do is we're going to make the state abbreviation this text field for the name. You know what, we'll see. It's either going to be the state or the state abbreviation. But here we go. We want to allow this. We want to allow this in reports. The rest is okay there, and also allow it in the search so we can find it. Okay, we'll go ahead and click save. Okay, so here's our state sales tax. Let's go ahead and add some fields. So for the name, I'm going to just use, this is going to be the actual full state name. I think that's good for that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a field for the abbreviation. So this is going to be a text field. And it's going to be state abbreviation. General state abbreviations are 2. I'll just make it 10 for now. I'm just say state abbreviation, and we'll do the same thing here. We're going to say it's required, and it should be unique also. I'm not going to put external ID, but I think that's good for now. And default value, so hit next. Yep, then we're going to go ahead and keep that. And the next thing is the tax rate. So the tax rate, this is going to be a number, a percent. So we'll go ahead and click percent there. Click next. The field label, we will say this is it's going to be percent, so this is the tax rate. Decimal places, let's see. Yeah, we can go 2 decimal places. Let's do 2, and this will be 16. And then the description, this is going to be state tax rate. So go ahead and paste it. This is going to be required. Nothing there. Next. And next. And save. Alright, so now we have our state abbreviation and the tax rate. So all that's there. So a couple places that I went and searched, and I'll put the links out in the description. The first place I went to this website, taxfoundation.org. You can actually download the state tax rate here and choose CSV, or even Excel if you wanted. I chose CSV, and then I had to do a little bit of a modification on it because it includes the state but doesn't include the state abbreviation, and I want the abbreviations because I want to match by the abbreviation, so I also need the abbreviations in here. So to get the abbreviations, I went ahead and went to this, if you do state and abbreviations Excel, And if you go to this site over here, there's a spreadsheet, Google Doc spreadsheet, that gives you the state abbreviation. So I just went ahead and copied and pasted this. And then what I did is I added it to the CSV, and I took all the other stuff out that I didn't need, because I really just need the state code, and the state tax rate. And that's it. So let's go ahead and do an import. If you remember from a previous lesson, our import is in setup. So we're going to go and click home, and then we're going to type in import. And we'll go to the data import wizard. And again, here we're going to launch the wizard. It's going to be a custom object, and it's going to be state sales tax. I'm going to add new records. And let's see, we need to drag the CSV file. So what I will do is I am off screen grabbing the CSV file from my folder. So we'll go ahead and do that. And let's see, this is all right. So now I'm just going to drag this. I have my state sales tax CSV file. Drag it down here. This looks good. It's comma separated. So I click next. All right. So now I need a map. So first thing I'm going to do, I have my state, my nesting complete name. So I'm going to map that to the state sales tax name. So that we'll do that mapping. The state code is the abbreviation, and the state tax rate is the tax rate. All right, so here we have, the only thing is that I'm not sure how this percentage is going to work, so we'll have to see about that. But I think the rest is okay there. So we'll click on next. We'll start the import, hope for the best. Okay, 51 records processed, because it's also Washington, D.C. 0 failed. Let's see how this came out. So now we need to go to state tax rate. Oh, I don't have a tab for that. So I do need to create a tab. So I'll go to tabs. And I'm going to go ahead and choose state tax rate. Let's see, there's nothing here. It doesn't matter what you pick for that. But anyways, here we have state tax rates. And click next. All right, visibility. I actually only want to, for each one. Yeah, this doesn't matter because these are all profiles. So it's going to hit next there. Which app, where to include the tab? I only want to include this in the customer service because that's where the customer information is. It makes more sense to include it there. So I'm including it there, clicking save. And then that should help. Yep, so now we have state sales tax. So now if I switch over to my customer service, I should see state sales taxes. So let's see how this came out. I think there should be an all category. Let's go ahead and list these out to see what they look like. So I'm going to display my fields. So I want to do the state abbreviation next, and then the tax rate next. Save. And this is how everything came out. This isn't bad. We have all our percentages here. Seems like everything imported correctly. Connecticut, I know 6.35, so that looks right. A couple of things like New Hampshire, I know they got 0%, and I think that's it. So everything looks correct. I think I even have Washington, D.C., District of Columbia here at 6%. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our state tax rate. So one thing we want to make sure is I'm going to go back to my account here and add a couple of different states, because I don't believe I added any of the state to the, I think I had billing records. Let's see, John Doe. Yeah, so the billing address, I had stuff going on here. So let's go ahead for John Doe. We'll list them in a different state. Oh, sorry, that's John Doe. Let's try John Smith. List this one in a different state. So we're just going to make up a name. Let's be 1 Main Street. Let's say Pittsburgh, PA. Oh, I don't know what's good. Pittsburgh, PA. Pittsburgh, PA zip code. Just to have something 15120. We'll go with that. So let's go 15120. That looks good. All right, so now we have the nice abbreviation there, so we'll save that. All right, the last one is Jane Doe here. This will be a New Hampshire address. So say 1 Main Street, Concord, New Hampshire. Concord, New Hampshire zip codes 03301. So you go 03301. Not that it has to be that accurate, but we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so that, I think that does that. So now the big question is, how are we going to fire off our record trigger flow? So what we want to do is when we go to a reservation, let's say we create a new reservation, you want to basically, depending on who the customer is, so if the customer changes or is the same, will affect their sales tax. So we'll change this sales tax entry here. So that's what we want to do. So let's go ahead and we'll go to setup and flows. And let's go ahead and create our record trigger flow. So we're going to go ahead and create a new flow. This is going to be triggered. It's going to be record trigger. And the object it's going to trigger on is the reservation. All right. And we want to make sure that this only triggers when a record is created or updated. And then the condition requirements is going to be an and. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that the, let's see, because the only problem, oh yeah, that's where the customer, yeah, because that's the only one with the customer. So we want to make sure the customer does not equal blank, right? Want to make sure that there's a customer filled in. So every time the record is updated and meets the condition requirements. All right, so that's good. So I think that's good. Action and related records. Yes. That. We want to do fast field updates. Yeah, this does it before the record is saved, and it'll, yeah, I can do a fast field update here. And the reason we want to choose this is that with the fast field update, it actually runs faster. But the thing is, you can only update fields on the record, which is the field we want to update. So let's go ahead, and we have to do a couple things. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and then the flow is going to be sales tax calculation RTF, record trigger flow. Okay. Determine the sales tax based on the customer's state. So we'll go ahead and save this. All right, so first thing we want to do is when we come in, we have this record, and the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and get the customers. Can we query anything here? Yep, we want to do a get record. And we want to get the customer record. Get customer record. Queries for the customer's record. Alright. So this is going to be account. That looks good. And now we're going to have our fields on the count. So we're going to say where the record ID on the account. Let's see, record. Yeah, I guess it's going to be, I don't know why it's master record ID. I just want the like the account record field or something. Let's see, record. Account ID. That's no, it's not the account. Is it the account ID? Yeah, where the account ID equals. That's what it was. Account ID, not record ID. All right, so that's the account ID, and it has to match the record trigger flow. So this is the triggering reservation. Customer. Yeah, customer record ID. Where is? It's probably account ID. There we go. All right, so it's going to get the triggering records, customer account ID, and it's going to pull that record in. So it should only be the first record, so because it should be unique, it's pulling it by record ID, and automatically stores all fields. Perfect. We'll save that. So now we have the customer record, and now what we want to do is we have the reservation record. So now that we have the reservation record, we want to update the reservation record. Oh, I see. The next thing we want to do is we want to query the state sales tax. So get records, get sales tax. It's going to be based on gets the sales tax based on the customer's state code, right? So we want to do sales tax. There we go. And now we want to query the sales tax. So it's going to be the state abbreviation equals. Now from the account that we got, we want to grab the mailing. Yeah, so it should be, sorry, billing state. There we go. So now we're going to grab the billing state. That's going to get us the correct abbreviation. And now we want to update the triggering record. So we're going to say update sales tax. Updates the reservations sales tax field. All right. Yep, we want to use the reservation record that triggered the flow. That's good. So now the field we want to update is sales tax. And what we want to do is we want to grab from the sales tax, we want to go ahead and grab the tax rate. So now we're going to put the tax rate and the sales tax there. And now we hit save. Okay, so one way to do this is let's go ahead and activate this and see if this helps. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it. So automation's active. So now let's go back to this over here, and let's say we're going to move to, we should get the Pennsylvania tax rate is what we're looking for. So if I switch to, I think it's John's, hold on, what was this before? Hit cancel. This was John Smith. So I believe we need to go to John Doe there and click save. See what happens. Ah, John Doe was the Connecticut person. So now I want to do John Smith. That's reservation 004. Let's do 3. And this is Jane Doe. I'm going to change hers to John Smith. Save it. Yeah. John Smith is 6%, which I believe was the Pennsylvania sales tax. And finally, let's see if we can get another one in here. Here we got John Doe here. We'll switch this over to Jane Doe, which I know should be 0. Oh, so we have Jane Doe there, and that's 0. Yeah, it's going to remain 0. You know what? Hold on. Let me choose one that I think I'd put. Did I put any of these? No, unfortunately, I did not put any of these. But it should still be 0. So if I go over here and just say, hey, Jane Doe, save, it should still be 0. But I'm pretty sure it works going forward because these are the correct. This is the correct one. So it looks like this all works now. And again, let me try a new reservation. So let's go ahead and do new reservation. So here we have our customer. I'm going to choose John Smith. And then we're going to say save. And here is our sales tax, are automatically calculated. So we'll create our reservation items. All right, so let's go departure date. Let's do the 14th. And then the airport's going to be Bradley to SFO. Then the arrival date is when we come back. So let's do the 18th, USFO, and BDL on the return. Let's see, BDL. This is arrival departing airport. Can't seem to find BDL. Huh. Worked for this one. For some reason it's not working for this one. Arrival departing airport. BDL. Ah, there you go. Huh, that was weird. Okay, so finally got it to work. Click next. Here we have our departing and arriving flights. So we're gonna click next. All right, so again, we're gonna scroll down here. Oh, this time, let's use we have a bunch of nice business class seats. And these are first class. Let's see, business class, this looks good. All right, so we'll grab a business class, window seat, 6, and then I'm gonna choose the same ones coming back. There you go, 6A. All right, so we gotta click next. That reserved our seats, and now we got our calculations are automatic now, and everything seems to be working perfectly. Okay, so now that our automation and our record trigger flow is working perfectly, let's go ahead. Again, I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to clear this too, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll do a preview, see what we're going to get. Because it should pull up a bunch of different things, new list view, custom fields, layouts, and our new flow. So that's exactly what we want. Next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and just do a start, and that should pull that information in. It created all new ones, so if you look at your object, we have state sales tax, etc. So this all looks really good. So we'll leave it at that. And then the next, I think that's it. I think that's all we have for today. Oh, one other thing that you have to be aware of that I probably need to mention. So I'm going to go back here and go back to my setup. The other thing we need to do is the permissions, because we have permission sets now. If you remember from before, when we had a customer service, this is the one that's going to need access to that new state income tax custom object that we created. So I'm going to go ahead and click in here, go to my object settings, and then I have to find state sales tax. Is it state or is it sales tax? Thought it was state. What was it again? Yeah, state sales tax. So within that, hold on, let's go back here. Permission sets, custom service, and then object settings. And it should be state. State sales tax. And now what we want to do is we want to make the tab settings, we want to make it visible and available. The object permissions, we're going to give them everything, like read, create, edit, view all records, modify all records, and view all fields. So that should be fine. No problems there. So we're going to go ahead and click save. And what this is going to do is it's going to ensure that this permission set, whoever has this permission set, can modify this state sales taxes records here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a preview here again, because now we modified our permission set. And then we're going to go ahead and start. You should pull it in. And then you're good. All right, so I think that ends it. Thanks again for joining me. If you find this video useful, please be sure to like and subscribe so that other people can hear about it. And until next time, see you later.